Hey, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I wanted to share some really good news that I got today. I woke up today. Today, by the way, is Friday, March 1st, 2024. And it's really just wrapping up a work week. I got up, I was having some breakfast and looking at my inbox for the first time in the day. And I saw, congratulations, welcome to the Microsoft Most Valuable Professional Award Program. Wow. Now, I knew that the awards are dispensed the first of every month. It used to be just once a year, the 1st of June or July, if I remember. But this was a complete surprise, and that's, I find, how the best things happen. The things I appreciate the most tend to be things that happen by surprise. There's more to the story, and I want to spend some time doing a little story time, if you don't mind, and talk about my journey with the MVP award. And of course, I want to take the time to thank all my mentors along the way. Most recently, let me just shout them out at the very beginning. I want to shout out Mike Robbins, Jason Helmick, Jeff Hicks, Michael Bender. And I know I'm leaving out friends, and I'm so sorry if I am. I don't mean to. But these are friends most recently who let me cry on their shoulder a bit because I've really missed not being in the MVP program for the last year and a half. Let me go back to the beginning and start the story. First of all, if you don't know what the Microsoft MVP program is, it's an award. It's not a certification, so it's not something that you pass an exam to earn. You earn it, but you earn it through your community contributions. The idea is that you are a self-appointed Microsoft evangelist. And that was me since day one. I entered the industry in 97, fall of 97, I believe it was. And I've been a Microsoft user since MS-DOS and all through Windows. So I was familiar from a power end user standpoint, but I tinkered with stuff, but I wasn't a dedicated IT guy. I went to school to be a doctor originally, a family practice physician. Didn't get into med school, was really depressed, figured, well, I've always loved to teach, and that was my fallback. And the subject matter turned out to be my life's passion. I love technology and information technology in particular. So I wound up with my career being periods of time in the industry working full-time as like a sysadmin and eventually a director of technology, and full-time training for training centers and this sort of thing. And it was tough in those days. This is, 20 years ago, whatever, because if you were teaching, it was hard to find time to gain industry experience. And then you need the industry experience, in my opinion, to inform your students as a teacher. So the cloud, when it came along, I guess 10 years ago, something like that, I was right there for that. I was right there for virtualization. I was right there for containers. I was right there for the internet. Like a lot of people, nothing special about me. I was in the right place in the right time a few times in a row. And fast forward to sometime, I don't even remember when I was awarded originally. It might have been 2015, whatever. But fast forward, I'm now well into my career. I'm doing cloud computing, so I can teach and make courses and do live teaching and conference presentations and blog posts to my heart's content, loving the cloud. And I can also keep my industry skills sharp, because I can consult cloud computing. I don't have to go anywhere. I'm not going to go to a data center. I literally can't go to a data center, to a cloud provider's data center. So the award came about. Now, it sounds like it just came out of thin air. To be totally candid and painfully candid, of course, I wanted the MVP. And I remember bending Jeff Hicks' ear, Don Jones' ear, Jason Helmick's ear. How do you get into the MVP program? It seems not only so prestigious, but just so valuable for credibility and for career advancement. They all told me the party line, what Microsoft says, but here's the deal. It really is the party line, and that is the selection process is uber secret. I worked for Microsoft full-time for a little over a year. I kind of tried to do a little detective work, maybe not. No, nobody's saying anything. And that's great. That's the way it should be. Because the idea is it's an award. I'm not contributing by making presentations at conferences, technology conferences, and technology user groups because I want the MVP. Now, I've seen people do that, and it's a temptation. And of course, I'm human. When I'm doing a community event, I know that that's a checkbox in my contributions. That's just reality. It's accepting reality. But I guess just in my case, because I'm a born teacher, I have that native instinct to pass along my knowledge. And that happens to be coincidentally very valuable to technology vendors like Microsoft, because whereas they have all their own sales and marketing people, what about these real community evangelists who are invested in Microsoft's products and solutions and who are really self-motivated to evangelize? We are, as MVPs, bringing new customers to Microsoft and strengthening existing relationships with existing customers. It's just, again, accepting and acknowledging reality. And I'm fine with that. I don't feel like a shill in any way. You might think, well, is there any tangible benefit to the MVP award besides a glass display statue and all of that? And yeah, there are. I'm not going to give details because it gets into non-disclosure agreement or NDA territory. But let me just suffice it to say, when you are in the MVP program, you are taken care of. You have what you need. You're going to be able to do your evangelization at tech conferences, user groups, whatever it might be. Doesn't have to be speaking, by the way. That's an important point. If your gift is writing, I have plenty of friends. You know Brian Posey? I've seen him speak, but I believe personally his real strength is in writing. I think he would agree with that. Fantastic. Writing, another perfectly valid way to give that contribution and impact. Well, anyway, I was an MVP for 5 years and it was beautiful. Why did I give up the MVP? It had to be pried out of my hands because I went to Microsoft. I wanted to change from what I was doing at Pluralsight, and I ready to go behind the curtain. Or as I put it at the time, I'm entering the mothership. And it was a beautiful experience. It really was. You might say, well, why are you not at Microsoft? Well, long story, but short story is, you know how the economy has been with hiring freezes at the time. I mean, this is going back a couple years ago. I just couldn't move at Microsoft. And I know they wanted me to move within the company. I wanted to move within the company, but I wasn't. What I was doing wasn't sparking joy anymore, plain fact. So I went back to Pluralsight. Anyway, when you join Microsoft, a lot of people I found don't know this. You have to give up your MVP award. Why? You don't need the benefits anymore. You've got Azure credit. You've got software licenses to the end of the road, blah, 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 blah. No, it's because an MVP is a community person. Why would we give a Microsoft FTE or a full-time employee an award where there's a community member out there who really deserves it? Beautiful, altruistic, and an appropriate thing. It was hard. And I wondered if I'd regret it. I don't regret giving up my MVP, no. So the last however long it's been since leaving Microsoft, it's been at least 6 months because I learned when I left Microsoft, you have to be away from the mothership for at least 6 months before you could be nominated. And that's another whole video talking about nomination processes and these things. But suffice it to say, I had it on my calendar that the day after the 6-month mark, I'm going to start doing my professional networking. I'm an enormous advocate of professional networking. If you've watched other YouTube videos, you know that. Now, am I doing anything or looking to do anything illegal or NDA violating? No, not at all. But what I did is I reached out to a lot of my close friends in the community, some active MVPs, some Microsoft FTEs, and some none of the above. And I just was candid. And I said, hey, look, friends, you know how it is with MVP and the benefits, how I rely on those in my community contributions. I'm saying I'm kind of struggling here. I do miss being back in the program. Now, what does that do? Are they going to whisper in somebody's ear? I guess it's possible, but thinking of these guys, they wouldn't do that. They're high integrity people. But the professional networking, who knows? Maybe they did say something to somebody who said something to somebody, and it put my name in somebody's radar. I mean, that's where professional networking can get you in this IT context. You never know. A simple conversation, sharing your woes with somebody, crying on their shoulder, as I said at the beginning of this video. Did I have any expectations that I would be rewarded? No, and I think that's a critical lesson. To not have any I think I try my best to apply that to my entire life, believe it or not. But specifically, I rationalized it to myself like this. I'm going to literally buckle myself in. Well, not literally, but I'm going to buckle myself in for a long ride. Would I love to be invited back into the Microsoft MVP program? You know it. I reached out to some friends and just said, this is where I'm at. I'll just leaving this here. Thank you. I'm not going to do anything more other than what I'm doing anyway, which is the contributions. That subject would be worth another video. Would you leave it in the comments if you'd like that, or if you have any other ideas for follow-up videos? Please. All right. So there you go. So 6-month mark, I'm still plugging along. At this point, it's longer than the 6-month mark. It's been a while, to be honest. I think I said 1.5 years. My timelines are probably messed up for a number of reasons, but they're not too messed up. It's relatively cool, but I can't give you an exact June 22nd. I don't have that in my head right now. But it's been a while. So I honestly, I guess this is a testament that I didn't have expectations. When I woke up today, the only thing I thought about is, first of the month, some bills are due. I had no conception. And also, of course, during the day on the 1st, I'll see people on LinkedIn who had been awarded, congratulate them, and think in the back of my mind, hopefully someday, you know. So it was a complete surprise this morning, as I said, to the point where, as I talk with you now, I haven't even accepted the award. So I guess I'm really being premature here, because you have to formally go through an accept process and agree the terms, and which is stuff I'm well familiar with anyway. So for me, I'm also grateful that the MVP onboarding process, such as it is, it's not like you go away for a weekend or anything, but I've been through that. So it'll just be a delta, or where has the situation changed from then until now. Again, I want to thank anybody and everybody, specifically those humans who might have been instrumental and who were instrumental and who did ultimately make this decision. Thank you. And thanks to Microsoft as a whole. You've been super good to me for 26 years. I hope that I'm able to give you some fragment of what you've given to me in my career. Yeah. So yeah, isn't that the traditional way to end a YouTube video? I think this is long enough. Peace. I'll see you next time.